Love it. Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to our first TEL meeting of the year. We are so excited that you are here. Just to kind of get an idea of who's here, freshmen, raise your hand. Well, you didn't really have an option to be here, but we are glad that you are here. So, welcome to Asbury's education program. It is just an amazing place to learn and grow. And we have some amazing professors who are going to talk to us today, so we just want to say welcome. If you ever need anything, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. We've been there, we're going through it now, so don't hesitate to reach out. Sophomores, raise your hand. Juniors. I'm praying for you all. It gets better. Okay. Sorry, not gonna lie. Seniors. That sound is proof that it gets better and you're going to make it, I promise. So thank you so much for being here. I'm just going to kind of start out.
Two of my friends are talking when Maddie's talking.
Yes. Sorry, Caitlin's practicing her teaching techniques that she's learning in her classroom right now. So I'm just going to start off with a little devotion of some things that have been on my heart recently, and I just kind of want to share those with you. So I've been in a lot of different schools so far. I'm student teaching, by the way. I didn't introduce myself. I'm student teaching. I'm Maddie. I'm the TEL president. And I'm student teaching right now at Nicholasville Elementary, but I've been at quite a few different schools. So I have been around some teachers, whether they are at the beginning of their career or the end of their career, who absolutely love where they are. And they speak highly about the kids. They see potential in them no matter where they are, and it is just amazing to see. But reality is, there are also teachers who are in the beginning of their career and towards the end of their career who just kind of wish that they were somewhere else. And you hear some comments that kind of dishearten you and make you wonder why they're there and wonder why you're there as well. And I've just heard some comments recently that have just like really stuck to my heart, like comments like, that's where they came from, like their parents are in jail, so that's probably where they're going to end up as well. Or, they're really struggling now. We can try to help them, but they're probably never going to get better. And hearing comments like that have just like really struck me and really broke my heart, because I'm at the beginning and I'm like, I can change every single kid and it's going to be great. And I know that that's not realistic, but I'm just there to try. And so I was just praying on the way to school the other morning, like, Lord, I'm frustrated. I can't stand to hear comments like that because these are your children and these kids have potential. And he really spoke to me and he said, Maddie, the way that you have to respond to them is the way that I respond to you. You have to respond to them with grace. You have to respond to them with love. You have to look past where they've been in the past. You have to look past the ways that they make mistakes now, and you have to respond and know that the only way things could ever get better for them is with someone like you intervening for them and standing in the gap for them and for me coming into their lives. And so he was just kind of like, that just hit me. I'm like, Jesus, the only model that I have to truly know how to respond to these kids who are struggling is you. And that's how he's responded to me in the past, and that's how we have to respond to our kids. No matter where they come from, no matter what their family situations look like, and I've heard it all, and it's disheartening, and it's terrible to hear where some of these kids are coming from. But we have to respond with grace and love, just like the Lord speaks and responds to us. So that's just a challenge for you, whether you were in your first placement, whether you're student teaching right now. Just respond with love, respond with grace, and look to Jesus as the ultimate example. And it's frustrating some days, I know, but that's just a little bit of a pep talk, a little bit of a heart wrencher, just kind of thing. I didn't cry. I cried the last 2 times I've said it. So, that's kind of all I have for the devotion. I have this thing now. Yes, that's what we just did. So yeah. Now it's time for announcements. Drew. This is Drew Cooney. Yay, Drew Cooney. Drew is currently in his 401 block, and he has an awesome opportunity for some education majors. He's going to talk a little bit about that.
Yes, like you said, I'm a senior
hey,
here.
put this on.
Oh.
Thanks.
high tech here.
Yep.
So yeah, like you said, I'm Drew Cooney. I'm a senior here, and I've been told I have like 5 minutes, so I'm going to rush through this. I wanted to present a really unique opportunity to you guys, especially freshmen, juniors, sophomores too, sorry, skip that. But this is an opportunity to go on a mission trip to Greece with Go International, which is a local nonprofit organization here. So what we'd be doing, and why I'm pitching it to you all, is that we'd be going to Greece to work with the church, which, sorry, I should preface this. You guys know Greece has like a really bad refugee problem right now. So a lot of people think of just like the adults there that are displaced, that need jobs. But there's a ton of kids that are refugees being moved, and with that, they're not getting an education. They're not going to school anywhere. So what we're trying to do here is going into a church, setting up a preschool, lower elementary classroom, going in there, setting everything up like a classroom here would look. And what we're going to do is run and create sort of a Sunday school curriculum, but with the intent of, we want to prepare these kids to go into classrooms. These kids don't know what an actual classroom looks like. So we're going in there to structure this Sunday school curriculum like a real classroom would look like. So these kids can get prepared here, get a little bit of Jesus with them, so like a little bit of evangelism, which is awesome, but we're also preparing them to go into the classroom so they're ready, they can succeed in the classroom when they go. So that's what we'd be doing. Just a couple quick things. The trip cost, oh, you updated it for me, great. The trip cost down there, $1,200 plus airfare. That's an estimate. And airfare right now is really cheap. We're going in December, as you can see. Those dates right there are also estimates. Airfare right now is really cheap, and that price down there gets you everything. Like, you could pay that price, pay the airfare, and not take a wallet with you, basically, because you won't need money, and unless you want to buy stuff there. But like that cost right there covers your food, your housing, your transportation, everything you can think of. That cost covers it. What else I got here? Again, airfare is cheap. This cost is actually really cheap for international travel. So if you're looking for your CCE, juniors, freshmen, sophomores, even seniors who haven't got their CCE yet, this is really cheap because I just went to China with Asbury and it kind of broke the bank for that. What's up? But it was a great experience. So again, this is a direct need for us and for like teachers over there. The organization that we're working with reached out to us specifically, Asbury and Go International, because they know what kind of people Asbury produces, what kind of teachers. So, and I know every single one of you guys are going to be amazing teachers, and that's why I want to partner with you guys and go with us. Sorry, I'm rushing.
No, you're good.
Again, so the nature of this trip, it's short. We're doing a lot of work. We will have one day of sightseeing if you want to go with us. But we need people who are, one, really willing to work with these kids. We need people who are going to hit the ground running because we're going to get there. We're going to start working. We're going to develop curriculum. We're going to get these kids and teach them what an actual classroom looks like. Kind of like, what you're doing here if you're younger, elementary. What else to say here before I go? Yeah, need people who are like really willing, want to work, want to do this. And so yeah, if you want to go, you can email Robin Garricky, who's the actual like leader of this trip. I'm just helping organize because I'm an education major and would love to go. So again, if you can't go and you like don't want to do this, I just ask that you pray for us. Pray that we get this team together. Pray that we get the funding to do this because this is something that both me and Robin are extremely passionate about and want to get done. So yeah, if you want to go, please, I'll sit after. Come talk to me. If you're just like even thinking about going, like, hey, that sounds cool, please come talk to me because we need the people. And I know it's short notice because it's coming up in December, but we can do it. We can do it. So yeah.
Thanks, Drew.
Yeah, of course. Thank you all.
Next, Amanda Lee, our program chair, is going to come up and give us a few announcements.
Hello, I'm Amanda Lee. I'm the program chair. All right, so we're going to have a get-together, bonfire, s'mores, everything like that on October 17th at the Reservoir. And as an ed major, you all are invited. Come hang out with all of us. If you're a freshman, you get to meet some of us who have been here for a little bit and learned all the ropes. And it's at 7 p.m. So come on out. It is no cost. It's free. So come on. And also, since you all are here, you will know this is your free meeting. Okay, your free meeting that you get for TEL. But if you join TEL, membership is $20. And make sure you get that in because it includes your fee and the banquet at the end of the year. So and it's a fun time. And then we're going to have the cabinet members come up here and introduce themselves. So if you're on this cabinet, come on up.
We're all ed majors. Like your thing, you know? Okay, I'm Maddie Lee. As I mentioned, I'm the president. I am student teaching right now. And elementary? Yes. Okay, go ahead.
I'm Sophie Diener. I'm the hospitality chair. I'm a sophomore and my major is middle school.
Hi everyone, my name is Katie Cochran. I'm the secretary and I'm a social studies education major.
Hello, I'm Amanda. I just introduced myself. I'm the program chair and I'm an elementary ed major.
I'm Taylor Tomlin. I am the publicist, right?
Yes.
Sorry. And I'm an elementary ed major and LBD certification. I'm a senior. So also, if you ever miss a meeting and you want to watch it, so this is really good for APS students if you can't make it, or if you're on sports teams, I will be posting the video online. And I'll also am the one who's sending out emails reminding you of meetings and the banquet and that kind of stuff. So I'll send out the link to our website where you can like receive all that. Or if there's one that you heard was really good in the past, you can look through and go through and watch that.
I'm Kristen Apple. I'm the membership chair.
We obviously have it all together.
I'm a senior LED major with an LBD certification.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Smith. I'm the hospitality chair. I am student teaching, and I am elementary and LBD certified.
I'm Clay. Yeah, sure. And I'm a historian. I'm a junior, and I'm a social studies ed major.
Yeah, social studies.
Okay, so just know that our cabinet is here to serve you. That's what we're here for. So if you have any questions, need anything, feel free to reach out. We're going to get moving. Dr. Bixler, our new dean. Woo! She's not new to us. We love her. She is incredible, and we are so, so thankful to have her. She's going to start a meeting. Or continue.
All right, so I'm Dr. Bixler. I'm the dean. I don't have to look at the screen. Oh. I know that. And I'm a math ed major. Math ed. Wow, we need to recruit. Okay. Welcome to the School of Ed. We are so excited to have all of you here. We're going to go really fast because we really want to get you guys out of here by 8 o'clock. So I'm just going to ask all of our faculty members to introduce themselves very quickly and tell what courses they teach or some of the courses that they teach so you can put a face to some of these names. And I teach the Tech for Ed class. You're up.
I'm Dr. Willen. I'm the chair of grant programs. I teach my 405s. Where are we?
Thank you.
I teach the 401 block and I teach mainly in the graduate school. Okay. I'm not going to tell you what I teach. Okay. And how many of you have had me in this room? LA? Yes? Okay, I'm done.
I'm Coffee Hamilton, and I teach in all sorts of the places, but where are all the middle and secondary ed people?
It's like chapel.
I'm Rob Ryle, and I've worked with 201, 301, 401 in student teaching. So when you're in the public schools, that's your number. Where's my 401 kids? Yeah.
She's going to speak to you soon, but that's proper. It's just a picture. I'm Dr. Rose. I'm
Sorry. Go ahead, Dr. Ritz.
I'm Dr. Rose and I teach graduate and undergraduate special education.
All right, before we get into the nuts and bolts of everything that's in that black folder, we have a scholarship to award tonight. We typically award these back in the spring, but we weren't able to do that. This is the Rita Pritchett Scholarship, and we have Prof. Wood, who teaches in our math department for us. She's going to come and tell you a little bit about Rita Pritchett, and then we are going to award that scholarship to our lucky person.
Thank you, Dr. Winston, for this opportunity. Thank you, Dr. Banker, for being here to support me. Rita Pritchett was my best friend, and I'm biased, so I've chosen to give you just a few facts and then hear the words of some of her former students. If you listen closely, I think you can learn a few things about teaching that you can use in the future. Dr. Pritchett gave her life to Asbury for about 41 years. She taught PE classes all those years. She coached about 30 of those years, track and tennis and volleyball and what was the other one? Tennis, and she enjoyed all of that. She was athletic director for 11 years. She was fiercely passionate about physical education. She enjoyed coaching. She was extremely professional, but more than that, she loved her students. And she was interested in their relationship with Jesus and about their growth in becoming better people. She was tough, though. I heard stories through the years about people avoiding taking her class because she was so hard. Because she did have high expectations for students and challenged them to be their very best. Here's former student number 1, who currently has a doctorate in physical education. He said one semester he was taking a volleyball class from her, and at midterm he had a D. His dad was pretty upset and said, "How can you have a D in PE?" And he said, "Dad, you don't understand. This is Dr. Pritchett." He came and was one of the last people to see her before she died in 2012. And he wanted to tell her how much she had meant to him and the enormity of what he had learned from her. He was grateful that she had stretched him. Former student number 2 was a member of the Unashamed class of 2010 and was a math major taking a PE class her freshman year. She wrote Dr. Pritchett a long letter as she was graduating, thanking her for the influence she had had on her life in that one semester. She enumerated 3 areas, but I'm only going to tell you about one. This is what she wrote. "The third influential thing has nothing whatsoever to do with me or the choices I make, but is the result of the small portion of your life that I witnessed. This basically consisted of a handful of 50-minute sessions once a week with a bunch of students, many of whom were not interested in even being awake, let alone being in your class. But during those times I watched you, and I was watching pretty closely. This is what I saw. You listened to every student and connected with them. You took the time to learn the name of your students you saw only once a week, to pray for them, and to really listen to them. Students would mention something to you, and a month later you would bring it up and ask them how things were going. I left that semester thinking, when I grow up, I want to be like Dr. Pritchett. I thought that wasn't so much because I wanted to be like Dr. Pritchett, but because I want to be like Jesus and his example that shines so clearly in you." Former student number 3 shared something with me recently that she had written a friend. My beloved teacher, mentor, and close friend Rita Pritchett teaches me all the time. My life is so much richer because she took time to make me think I could do whatever I wanted with hard work. She gave me confidence when there was none and a gift to believe in myself. I will eternally be grateful for that. I know I am only one of so very many who feel this way. That's the gift Rita had. We each felt important to her and worth her investment in us. You can't give a student a better gift than that. Lastly, former student number 4 referred to Dr. Pritchett as coach. This is what she said at Dr. Pritchett's retirement. It was always about others with her. She has spent her career pouring herself into the lives of others, and she has a way of making each person she comes in contact feel like they are the most important person in the world. She makes you feel special. In fact, for a long time, I thought I was Coach's favorite student. It was a devastating blow when I realized the truth. In fact, there are many others who thought the same thing. In summation, as up-and-coming educators, you have the opportunity and responsibility to positively impact your students. I hope that you will be as successful as Dr. Pritchett. Thank you.
All right, so the recipient this year of the Rita Pritchett Memorial Scholarship is Andrew McPherson. You're in the center. It is you. We are moving on. Bonus points to somebody who can tell me what an MOU is.
Memorandum of Understanding.
Okay, if you willingly volunteered for my game, please stand up. Bethany, you're going back there to the back. Drew, you're going back there to the back. Paul, you're going right here. Now, babe, come on. All right, I'm going to give you guys a minute. There's a little something. Drew, you better hurry. There's a little something back in the back. You want to read the card that's in there, read the directions really fast. We're going to start the timer. I'm using an object lesson to help us all understand what really matters about this part of the MOU. Everybody ready? So you're going to cheer on, well, whoever you want to cheer on, but you can't help them. Like you can't, you'll see. You can't help them, but you can cheer them on. Are you ready? On your mark? Everybody ready? On your mark, get set, go. Here's the moving target. You go.
She can move, right?
Can we move? I have to You can move from the corner.
Are we supposed to write up the instructions?
No, just the bills.
Go through.
Show me the money, guys.
Show me the money. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's give all our volunteers a hand. That's so great. Make sure all the money gets in the trash can. Now, what do we think? Thanks, everybody. I have a little thank you for you later, so come see me after. Okay, did all the money make it back? Drew, you can't keep the money. You have to bring the money to the trash can. Okay, what do we think The moral of this story is,
Don't throw away your money.
don't, what? Don't trust Paul. I don't know if that was it. But don't throw away your money. Don't throw away your money. Everybody got that point? Say it with me.
Don't throw away your money.
The one on the practice, yeah. Oh, stay with me, stay with me. If you'll make it just a little bit bigger. Here we go. If you've already taken or are currently enrolled in the 200 block, you need to pass the Praxis Core Academic Skills for Educators, commonly referred to as the case. It's often called the case, so don't be confused, okay? So it is just like an ACT-ish, and it is just a competency test in reading, writing, and math. If you have not taken the 200 block yet, you have to have passing scores before you can register for the 200 block, okay? This is part of the new things we're going to talk about, okay? So if you'll scroll down. There are 3 ways for you to prepare. There are 3 ways for you to prepare. Please choose one at least, so you don't
Throw away your money.
We'll get better at that. So please, if anything, you want to open these companion documents. They're going to tell you exactly what's on the Praxis that you're taking. The other thing you can do, if math is the issue for you and you're having trouble with the math Praxis, the Tutoring Center offers a math Praxis tutoring like for 6 weeks, I think. Really great. If you would like, you can also complete all of these steps. Don't worry, they're going to be in an email for you to get. Just one second. They're going to be in an email for you to get. If you'll scroll down just a little bit more. You can take 4 different practice tests for the math, the writing, and the reading. So you can practice. You can be prepared. So you, come on, you can do this better. So you
don't throw away your money.
No, sorry, other way. Keep going. Down, scroll down. Keep going. There you go. All right, because you can see here, this is how much, keep going, keep going. This is how much each of the tests cost. Well, there you go. Or you can take them all together, okay? It tells you exactly how long the tests are, and it tells you what score you have to pass. Unfortunately, sometimes we take these tests over and over and over, and we don't strategically prepare. So you can retake it if you need to, but I'm here to tell you the good news is, if you'll follow those steps on the front of this handout that I think is in your folder. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, Dr. Crook.
So last thing.
I was ready.
Thanks for being ready. Please make sure that you register for the correct test. Yes. And please make sure that you tell the code that you register for Asbury University Matters. If you take it in Kentucky, it'll automatically come here, but if you don't, you have to put in that code. Everything you need for registering is here, and you'll receive an email, or this will be linked somewhere that we will send you an email so you can get to it. And if any of this, if you have any questions, you can just email me. I'll be glad to help you. Any questions?
Just to say, the Writing Center is working on
Yes.
getting together some materials to help with the reading and writing sections as well. So if you need tutoring for those things, stop by the Writing Center. That should be available like within the next.
That's wonderful. And we'll send you out an email when that's up and available, okay? If you didn't know, it's National Cheeseburger Day. And so at Culver's, you can get cheeseburgers for $1 just today. So all my volunteers, I don't have money for you, but I have gift cards for cheeseburgers. So give everybody a hand and happy
I got to say one thing in 30 seconds. Raise your hand if you are going to hopefully be in the 201 clinical in the spring. If you are going to be the 201 clinical in the spring, that means you're a freshman your fall year. How many of you are? Yeah, I see a couple hands. Guys, take this case sometime. Don't wait till December. because if you don't pass one of the parts, you have to wait 21 days to take it again. And that's too late. Just be aware of that.
All right. Okay, so I think, isn't it Prof. Worthen next? Okay. So Prof. Worthen was unable to be here, so she has put together a wonderful video. She's put together a wonderful video to help you all to learn about your GPS. Okay, here we go.
Needs to stay on the screen. Stay on the screen.
This? Yes, gotcha. You cannot see it. Oh, it is spazzing out. it's spazzing. It's good. It's good.
For our first meeting of the semester.
I'm gonna start it over again. Okay.
Hey guys, it's Prof. Worthen, and I am going to be talking to you guys tonight about GPA requirements. I first just want to say that I'm so sad to be missing out on this time with you all for our first meeting of the semester and getting ready to teach online from home, so that's why I could not be with you in person tonight. But I am here doing this awesome video so that I can talk to you about GPA stuff. So let's get to it. You have to have a cumulative and a School of Ed GPA of 2.75 or higher in order to be in our ed program. So what does that mean? A cumulative GPA is any class that you have taken here at Asbury. So if you've taken classes at another university, tried to transfer credits in, those do not factor into your overall cumulative GPA. It's only courses that you've taken here at Asbury. And a cumulative GPA are both your Asbury courses and any ed class or any ed courses that you have had. So a minimum of 2.75 there. You also have to have a minimum 2.75 GPA in our School of Ed courses. So any ED class, any ed class that you are taking or have taken, have to have a minimum 2.75 GPA. And that is a requirement in order to pass through every gate in our program. Now let's talk about some classes. You have to have no less than a C- in any of your ed classes. Also, with your foundational courses, there are a few that you have to take and get a certain grade in those classes in order to keep in our program as well. So there are a few foundational courses, and I'm going to read them off because I don't have them all memorized. But for COM 150 or COM 130, you cannot make below a C-. So C- is your minimum grade in that course. Also for English 110, you have to have a minimum C- in that class. And then for our elementary ed majors, you all are required to take Psychology 101. You also are only allowed to make a C- or higher in that course. Also for elementary ed majors, we have Math 201, Math 201, so you have to have a minimum C- or higher for that class. For non-elementary ed majors, you may be taking Math 120, and that is a math class that you have to have a minimum C- or higher in that course. So please keep that in mind as you are moving through the ed program, moving through our gates, to keep in mind about the cumulative and School of Ed GPA. What is it again? 2.75. 2.75. Okay, and then you have to make sure that in any of your ed class, you make either a C- or higher. We want you to make better than a C-, but stick to that, okay? And then in those foundational courses that I just listed off a minute ago, you have to make sure that you get a minimum C- or higher as well. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to any one of us, but please keep in mind that you need to be keeping your GPA up as well as in your foundational courses. Do not let that stuff slide. because you will not be able to progress through our program. Have a great night. Miss you all.
Bye, Brittany.
Okay, my part of the MOU that I'll talk about
I broke it, I'm sorry.
tonight. This is why we can't have nice things.
I broke it. Here, put it right here. I got you. Keep talking.
My part of the MOU we're going to talk about tonight is the character and fitness part. And if you look on your MOU,
Just hold it.
if you look on your MOU, there's a couple of lines there that I want to point out to you. Documentation of character and fitness include the following: a background check for admission to the School of Ed. Now, at your 201 clinicals, you'll be using the Fayette County Volunteer background check. It's not the most stringent state police check in your life, but it's a good check before you, as you start working with students and doing your clinicals. That kind of intensifies as you go farther in the program, up to when you got ready student teach ladies, you did fingerprints and everything else. So you will be doing background checks as we go through this. Now, why? Why should we do this? Well, we learned that in chapel yesterday from Dr. Bounds. U-G-L-Y. We ain't got no alibi, we're ugly. That's right, okay? Somewhere in our past, there may very well be something that we did, we all went to high school, that follows us, okay? That follows us along. And just to be honest with you, those things follow you, okay? So it's important that you get in front of those if anybody has anything like that, okay? What you don't want to do is not disclose along your path and then have something found out later. Then it's not only that you didn't disclose something, it's that you lied about it on top of it, which might be a bigger problem than not disclosing it in the first place. So we just want you to be honest as you work through all of your background checks and all the things you're going to sign at each gate as you go through, because that matters. We want to represent Christ in a way that is pleasing to him. Okay. But we also have, render unto Caesar, we have laws we have to attend to who can work with children and under what circumstances. So just to make it real clear to you, this is the application to be a teacher in Kentucky. Okay. This is the actual application for certification that all of you will fill out at some point. And here's what it says. If you answer yes to any of the questions below, submit a narrative with your application. Does that say it knocks you out? No, it just says you're going to explain yourself. If you had to answer yes to any of these questions through here. The narrative should include dates, locations, school system, court records, and any other information about the circumstance. Okay? Have you ever had your license revoked? Well, you don't have a license yet, so that's not you. Have you ever been suspended or discharged from employment or military service? You have to explain that. Have you ever resigned, entered into a settlement agreement, or otherwise left employment because of your misconduct? You'd have to explain that. Okay? Is any action now pending against you for alleged misconduct in a school district? You'd have to explain that. Okay? Have you ever been convicted of or entered a guilty plea, blah, 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 of even if the adjudication of the sentence was withheld in Kentucky or other state? For purposes of this, minor traffic violations are not reported, but DWIs, DUIs, they must, the word must be reported. So just be aware, okay? Just be aware, we believe the Bible, Numbers 32:23, your sins will find you out, okay? Along the way, if you have something in your past, that'll be something that you need to disclose and talk about, okay? So just want you to be really aware that your behavior on this campus and off this campus really does matter because we're representing Christ, okay? Any questions about character and fitness? Okay. Anything I need to add, Profs?
Just that when you fill out that form to get your license, if you do have a felony or something on your record, that's not the end of the world.
Right.
We've got lots of people that did something when they were in high school. They had a DUI, an open container, something like that, vandalism. Just come and talk to me. So what we will do is we'll talk to EPSB and make sure none of those are going to be a problem when you student teach. So I'm the person that you would come and talk to if you. The one thing that does show up sometimes there is the felony part. So if you've been convicted of a crime, come and talk to me sometime in the next month.
Questions?
Make sure they carry it.
Make sure they carry this. Who's next?
Me?
You're supposed to carry this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So my part is to tell you about technology. So I'm sure everyone is on Discovery, right? You all must be on Discovery. That is where you will get and access all of your coursework. Okay. Any trouble with Discovery? You can always, I think it's, what is it? I'm not going to say Tim Cook. I'm going to say Rick Cook. Rick Cook. He is in charge of Discovery.
They know.
Okay. The next thing is really, really, really important. If you are emailing in any type of a professional manner, maybe you're emailing your teacher that you're placed with, or you're emailing a principal. You want to use your Asbury email. So if my email is ally.rhodes@asbury.edu. I do not email from ilovekittycats.com or @gmail.com, okay? So make sure that you are emailing professionally and from your Asbury email address. You want to make sure. You know, I love kitty cats can be for mama or for significant others, but not for a professional situation. Okay. Now, task screen. Don't everybody go out and get it. I love kittycats@gmail.com. All right, task screen. You have to sign up and purchase a TaskStream account because that will be where you will have all of your electronic portfolio information. You have to do this during the 200 block. And if you have any questions about that, I know something about it. Heather Jacobs, who works in our department, she is the guru on TaskStream. You can always email her with any questions, but this has to be done. I know there's been quite a few students who have purchased this during student teaching or later. So we want to make sure that you're getting this done during the 200 block. Anything else? Okay, let's see who is next.
Me? All right.
You have to hold it.
All right, let's all sing this little light of mine, okay? All right, I've got the easiest thing on the MOU, guys, because it's the easiest thing to explain. It's called clinicals, right? And we have 3 of them. What's the first one? What's the number? 1. What's the second one? 301. What's the third one? 401. How many hours is in the first one? 60. Next one? 75. Next one? 75. Yeah, and which one is the one that goes into student teaching? 401. You guys are awesome. Okay, and the 201 placement always has to be in what county? Fayette. Why?
Diversity.
Good job. And 301 is always tied to what classes? Methods. All right, good job. You get a piece of candy. And then 401, as we say, transitions. As you move through the program, seriously, and everything's been serious, I know, but you really, guys, all the stuff that you learned in a seat pales in comparison to what you learn out in the schools. So every time you walk into the school, it's an interview. Talk to some of our student teachers right now. They already have jobs. Why? Because what they're doing out there in their clinicals. I've had principals come up to me and say, hey, when does this person graduate? Because I want to know, because there's going to be an opening and I want to keep my eye on him or her. So every time you walk into the school in these clinicals, it's an interview. They're watching you, okay? And just take advantage, take full advantage, learn the great things you learn. Have any of you learned things that you're not going to do in a clinical? Yeah, okay, yeah, that's just as important. That's just as important. All right, so you got 3 clinicals. 3 clinicals to go through this program before you student teach. I'm done. Next.
I'm Prof. Ryle again, and the only thing I don't like about my job is that I don't get to know most of you until your senior year. What I teach is the 401, that's a 75-hour clinical. That's done in the classroom where you are going to student teach, so that you get to know your cooperating teacher and they get to know you. Then the next semester is student teaching. Student teaching has a 2 or 3 day workshop before student teaching. It's either during exam week of the semester when you take 401, the semester before student teaching, or it's a few days right before the semester begins, either in August or in January. If you want to work or participate in athletics during student teaching, then you need permission from the School of Education. Especially if you're in athletics, you want to think about which semester you want to student teach, because you don't want to be student teaching during the semester when your sport does most of its work. If there's any way possible for you to work it out, you want to take 401 in the spring, you want to student teach in the fall, and then you want to save some of your gen eds for your last semester, senior year, in the spring. You are allowed to student teach in the spring, but you have snow days, senior retreat, spring break, Easter, Martin Luther King Day, state testing, President's Day. Those are all things that affect student teaching, plus you're starting in the middle of the year. You never really learn how to start the year. So if you can work it out with your advisor to do your student teaching in the fall, that's what we recommend to you, because you're learning how to start a classroom, which is what you're going to do the next year. And so if you can do that again with your advisor, that would be great. One of the unique opportunities that you have if you're a freshman or a sophomore is you can do half of your student teaching in Africa or Brazil. We have 2 going to Australia this spring, 1 going to Paraguay. You can do it anywhere in the world that you want to do it. It typically does not cost you anything extra. So if that's something that you would like to consider, doing half of your student teaching overseas, I'm the person that you come and talk to so that we can get that process going, because it has to be all finalized 1 year before you're to student teach. So if you're going to student teach in the spring of 2022, it has to be all finalized by the spring of 2021. You must take the second praxis test during 401, the semester before you student teach. That's in your content area. We will give you all that information, which test that you take, and then all of you take something called the PLT. You cannot get a teacher's license in Kentucky until you take and pass both the content and the PLT part of the praxis. So I know that's a lot of information. All of that is on the MOU so that you have it. If you have questions about any of that, just let me know. I'm here to help you. Facilitating student success. That's what we expect of you. I can guarantee you that the 7 full-time faculty that you've heard here tonight are going to do anything they can to facilitate your success. So we try to model for you what we expect of you. The final thing I'll say about student teaching, I feel like I'm preaching a sermon. The final thing I say about student teaching is one of the real joys we have is at Asbury we have 1 program, education. We have 1 elementary education program. We have 2 ways that we deliver that. We deliver it to you traditional undergrads, and then we deliver it to APS students. There are 2 of those APS students here tonight. They're married, they have children, sometimes they're grandparents, they're worried about house payments and car payments and gas for their car, and yet they're taking the same courses that you are taking online, and you all come together for student teaching during those I-steps that we talked about up there. Okay.
While we're transitioning.
That's okay.
It's all right. It's already broken. So, I know Dr. Bixler. I'm sorry. At the back of the MOU, this is something new. Okay, back of the MOU. Every time you advise, every time that you are with your advisor in the semester before you go through a gate, you're going to sign it. Your advisor's going to sign it. Okay? As a checkpoint. I just had to say that too. Dr. Bixler.
Yeah, Bixler.
wonderful black folder that you're going to take to your dorm or your apartment or your house, and you are going to put it in a place where it is safe and secure, and you can actually find it when you go to your advising sessions. So every semester you have to go to an advising session with your advisor. Really quickly, I advise all the seniors in secondary ed. Prof. Crook has all of the APS elementary. Prof. Hamilton has all secondary and middle school.
P12,
Dr. Ryle has P12. Dr. Rhodes has elementary with LBD emphasis. And Prof. Worthen has elementary ed, not LBD emphasis, okay? So you have to meet with us, and when you come to those meetings, you need to have that black folder in your hand, okay? And you're going to go through that handbook, and you're going to talk to your advisor, and you're going to say, yes, I understand the MOU. Yes, I understand what's in the handbook, okay? Now, because I have 4 children, 2 of them already graduated, married, 2 of them in college, I know that you're going to lose things, okay? So we have created for you an Ed Students 101 course on discovery. Now you can't access it just yet because they just gave me access to it yesterday. But on that, we'll send you an email as soon as you're ready to look for it. And then you'll be able to log into that classroom just like you log into your class for 401 or 301 or whatever it is, all right? And we're going to have all the things here that you're going to need as an Ed student when somebody says, oh yes, I've got to take my handbook to my advising session, and you say, don't remember where that handbook is, right? So the handbooks are on here. The MOU is on here. We're going to continue to add things to it. Forms that you need for student teaching, forms that you need for other courses. There's a lesson plan template on here. So if you're in 301 and you've gone through the whole learning process with how to use that lesson plan template and you forget how to do that, it's right here. And it even has videos for you that Prof. Crook made for you. So you get stuck on a lesson plan. I'm sure it's wonderful.
Riveting. The Emmys were last night, by the way. Did you see my acceptance?
Everything will be there. If you don't see something there and you wish it was there, you send me an email and say, gosh, Dr. Bixler, it would be really nice if this form was on that website, and I'll make that happen for you. Okay? You're up, Dr. Crook.
No. Dr. Rock.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Dr. Rock.
You were before me.
No,
That's okay.
You are. It says Rock.
If you are a sophomore, a junior, or a senior, you can kind of tune out to what I'm saying. If you're a freshman, then this will be new information for you. The reason you sophomores through seniors can tune out is because there's no change in the gating procedure for you, and you already understand that. If you're a freshman, here at Asbury in the School of Ed, you have 4 gates. Those are completely revised. They are all connected to a clinical. So when you take 201, you will do gate 1. When you take 301, you will do gate 2. When you take 401, you will do gate 3. When you're in student teaching, you will do gate 4. Those gates, you have to walk through those gates and let you do something. If you don't get through the gate, then you are stopped in the program. You can't take the next level of courses. So, make sure that you meet the deadlines on the gate. A gate, every gate consists of 2 things. One is a portfolio where you are putting evidences of things that you did in that clinical. So when you do a lesson plan for 301, that's going to go in your 301 portfolio. In Task Stream, which is the account that she told you you will need to buy when you take 201. So it's a way we permanently record everything about you. We keep it in your portfolio in Task Stream. So don't underestimate the value of gates. The second part of each gate is some form of interview. Usually it's with principals and superintendents from around here, but we do it 4 different ways actually. So each time will be a little bit different, but when you hear the term gate, that's important to you. When you get an email from Mary Lytle saying, hey, your gates are next Wednesday, what time works for you? You need to respond. Because we have 25 principals upstairs to interview you for gate 2. If you're not here, I don't know how we make that up. I've never figured that out. So you must be here on the gate nights. Those are on the schedule. They're on the Asbury calendar. Make sure you're aware of when those gates are when you are in a clinical, because there's a gate, again, for every clinical.
You good?
Mr. Technology.
Yeah. All right. Very quickly, turn to page. Hello? Yes? I get some on my hand. It's like a mic. I want you to turn to page 18. We're going to sing the first and last verses of the following chorus. Okay? The name of this hymn is Candidate Dispositions Inventory, better known as CDI. Okay? All right, now here's the deal, guys. This is brand new stuff. When you had, we know you have 5 dispositions in the School of Ed. I'm not going to put anybody in the spot to name the 5 dispositions. Okay? But what we need to do is this. There's a new way that we're measuring your dispositions. In every course that you take, in every clinical that you take, there is going to be this inventory completed by your professor or your P12 faculty person, if it's an ED class or an EDA class. So, those of you in the 401 block, you're going to get one from Prof. Rao, one from Dr. Willen, one from Prof. Wright, and one from me. Okay? So, we're going to gather a ton of different opinions about you if you have the right stuff as far as dispositionally. We're going to score you on 4 of the 5. The one we're not going to score you on is the one about the spiritual wellness and, how many times you read your Bible every day. Okay? We also are not going to ask the P12 faculty people to score you on your spirituality. Because a lot of you may be placed with some that aren't even Christians themselves. So, that just didn't make sense. So, we have rethought and retooled this whole piece. You will still take, remember the 75 questions, I love Mother Teresa, or I feel like I'm like, whoever, and, whatever, and you rated that scale. That still measures the 5 dispositions, okay? But these only measure the 4, but not the spirituality piece. So this is brand new. Everybody will be scored on this, and it'll all go through TaskStream, and we'll get all sorts of wonderful data on how you are dispositionally in all the different classes in the education, plus your P12 faculty people. Okay? Who's next? Dr. Fixler is going to close us out.
All right, so one serious thing, and that is this. Read your email every day, because I don't know how many times we've sent emails to people and we'll say, hey, your assignment didn't upload, and then 2 weeks later you're saying, why didn't I get why didn't I get a grade? And it's like, well, you never uploaded it, right? So make sure that you're grading those emails, or reading those emails. So really quickly, before we do the student-teacher question and answer thing. All right, so we as professors end up through all of these classes with all of these kind of extra books that we don't ever use anymore. So we have about 8 books up here. So if your name gets pulled out of the hat, you can come pick a book to add to your educational library. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, here we go. Natalie. How do you pronounce your last name, Natalie? Free, thank you. Come on, Natalie. Owen Howard. Daniel Poe. Allie Sutton. Carly Logan. I'm not doing it on purpose. Jessica Burke. Okay, one more. Hannah Coleman. All right. Before we hand you over to the student teachers, I'm going to ask Dr. Ryle to say a prayer for us, and then we're going to go into our Q&A.
The last thing I want you to hear us say is that we love you and that we care about you. One thing I learned a long time ago, I used to sit in church services and we would sing and pray, and I'd be sitting there really hurting inside, but I would act like I wasn't. I've learned that we do that in church on Sunday mornings. We all go there, we act like it's a great experience. Sometimes we are really hurting. I'm going to suspect that there are people in here, we've had a lot of fun tonight, we've laughed, but some of you might be hurting. Some of you might be concerned about some of the things that you've heard here. So I want to make sure that you don't leave without hearing us say that we love you, we care about you, we are here to facilitate your success, and there's no story that you can tell us that we haven't heard. All of these people that spoke to you tonight, every single one of them, part of what makes them special is they've all been teachers and principals and superintendents in public schools. So they've worked with students their entire life. So just know that we care about you, we love you, we're here to help you, we want to facilitate your success. Heavenly Father, thank you for these students that have come here tonight. Thank you for the opportunity to share with them. We're so excited about them becoming teachers, becoming educators, changing the world through the lives of their students. They're 201 students, they're 301 students, they're 401 students, they're student teaching students, and the students that they will serve when they go out into the field of public or private education in the United States or across the world. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Amen. Student teachers, will you stand? We're going to keep this simple. My current group of student teachers, stand. That means straighten your legs. If you have a question, these people that are standing up have done everything that we've been talking about tonight. So find one of them and ask them a question, because they are student teaching. They are like this close to finishing, and they are all sight. Here's something very bizarre, but very true. You heard what Prof. Crook said. I'm not going to point them out, but two of these people already have teaching jobs because they're graduates of Asbury University, and if you're in Central Kentucky and you're a principal, you want an Asbury grad. So that's one of the cool things about being in Asbury's program. Principals in Lexington, Jessamine County, Harrodsburg, Clark County, Winchester, they all believe that Asbury graduates are the best teachers there are. They will take you over any other university. And so all of these students are going to get a job, and so they have all of the answers. So find one of them if you have a question about anything we've talked about tonight. Thank you. Thank you all. Good night.
Okay, we just want to say thank you so much for being here. Our next meeting is going to be at October 23rd at 7. Just a reminder, this is your free meeting, so next time you have to pay. So sorry. That's right.